Welcome to Lincoln Storm, the UK's leading lithium-ion battery recycling facility. Here at Lincoln Storm, we specialise in taking used lithium-ion batteries and using our industry-leading technologies, break them down into usable, valuable materials.
I'm Scott McKenzie, I'm the CEO of Lincoln Storm. Lincoln Storm Ltd is the UK battery recycling company. It has commercial scale operations which primarily deal with portable batteries. However, we can deal with modules and cells on a commercial level. The lorry will come in, we have a two weighbridge system. It will go to the first weighbridge, obviously we weigh gross, then it will go to the unloading area. These things generally come in barrels on pallets, normally 4 barrels to a pallet. The lorry will then be reweighed net. The weight of the batteries must be recorded. Following that process, it's emptied onto a conveyor. They will then go into our aqueous shredder. That is a pre-break shredder, so it effectively pierces stroke destroys the batteries, which will obviously cause them to short and render them effectively safe. They will then go from there onto a water conveyor, which then goes to a secondary shred, which will then shred it a little bit more finely. The idea behind that is to obviously liberate some of the high value powders inside these things and present it to our drying line. The idea behind the drying line is it will take the moisture level contained within that mixture of shredded batteries down to a level of less than 1%. Once it's taken out the end of the dryer, it then goes into our dry separation plant, which is when it is completely separated into 3 fundamental products, one being a polymer, one being a mixed aluminium copper, ultra clean, generally 60% copper, 40% aluminium, and the third being Storm Black, which is powder mixture that contains nickel, cobalt, manganese, lithium and carbon.
I'm Damian Lambkin. I'm the CEO and founder of AnyWaste Global and the AnyWaste.com waste tracking system. We're currently working with companies like Lincoln Storm, where we're helping to digitize their collection system so that their clients can have an online dashboard to help better communicate directly with them as the battery recycler.
I'm Eustice and I'm a board advisor at AnyWaste. We all know that there are real problems with illegality creeping in with waste, and so waste being misdescribed, ending up at the wrong place, and it's very, very difficult for regulators to be able to track that waste and make sure that the system's being implemented in the right way. And so the great advantage of a digital waste tracking system is it enables you in a much more effective, efficient way to track individual consignments, and for regulators crucially be able to view the journey of that waste. We know that for many electronic devices, including vapes, the management and the handling of those lithium-ion batteries is a major challenge. They can become a fire hazard if they're disposed of incorrectly, and it's really important with the circular economy in mind that we take some ownership of recycling our own electronic waste, and lithium-ion batteries is a really important one. So it's great to see this site here at Lincoln Storm and see the work they're doing to turn these lithium-ion batteries into black mass that's got a value with the nickel and the cobalt and the lithium that's in there.
I'm Peter Hunt, Chairman of the Waste Care Group. We're looking to lead in sustainable recycling, and the only way we can make it sustainable is to recover value from the waste streams. We don't do lithium batteries, and Lincoln Storm do, and they seem to be doing it on a good scale and at a good standard, so it makes sense to work with them. Lithium is a difficult metal to deal with, and various people have had a go at it, but not really put the investment in that's needed to actually crack it once and for all. Lincoln Storm seems to be on their own in that regard.
We're a one-stop place for people to come that can benefit from our experience, the way that we handle clients' contracts, where we pick the material up. We're very transparent with our clients. For example, everything has a value. So how we pay back our clients is that the sale of the outputs of material less the fees we charge to obviously produce those saleable products can sometimes leave a surplus, of course, depending on the chemistry of the NMC, if it's NMC, LCO. And I think by doing it that way, it gives them comfort. They have a recycling certificate in their hand, they have an outturn of what was in their batteries, and more importantly, they have a pricing sheet which tells them what the value was in those batteries, minus what obviously it costs to run. And I just think that kind of service is something that everybody would like to have.
My name is Stephen Griffiths. I'm the TCM here at Lincoln Storm. TCM stands for Technically Competent Manager. So as a TCM, I'm responsible for environmental permit compliance here on site. It could be monitoring incoming feedstocks to ensure we're only accepting compliant material, ensuring all of our processes are in line with the permitted techniques, ensuring that fugitive emission is adequately contained, monitoring point source emissions, and just ensuring we're overall compliant. So we're going live with the AnyWaste tracking system. It's proven really quite useful. It allows us to monitor incoming feedstocks, ensuring we've got adequate provision on site to accept the waste that is en route. It allows us to manage duty of care documents also. So when we have incoming waste streams coming from across the country, we can manage all duty of care documents electronically, meaning that we restrict the amount of handling of bits of paper and so on. It's really quite useful. So here we're looking at recovered fractions from lithium-ion battery recycling. So initially we're going to shred a battery. That will then go into a dryer line because that helps to liberate the target material from the shredded battery material. And what we're looking at here is some of our recovered fractions. So we have our black mass product here. This is a composition of cobalt, lithium, manganese and other metal types. Here we have our copper aluminium mix, non-ferrous fraction, and once we've separated that successfully, we end up with a copper fraction, which you see here. This is up to 98% recovered, meaning that it holds good value.
I'm Damian Lambkin. I'm the CEO and founder of AnyWaste Global and the AnyWaste.com waste tracking system. We track waste basically, so we help producers of the waste, recyclers and waste carriers digitize what is historically a paper-based platform. We don't just operate in the UK, we operate completely globally. So we have clients in Italy, Sweden, even South Korea and the UK, and our system will be going live within the next 4 to 5 months. We're currently working with companies like Lincoln Storm, where we're helping to digitize their collection system so that their clients can have an online dashboard to help better communicate directly with them as the battery recycler. Lincoln Storm can offer a recycling solution seconded to none here in the UK. Now, I've worked with battery recyclers all over the world. The facilities we have here and the conditions that we have here are second to none. They have one of the largest aqueous shredders here in the UK. They also have the ability to dry black mass and then separate the fraction. It is one of the most advanced facilities we've ever seen, and they're expanding rapidly.
I'm Matt Stoneman, I'm the Group Sales Director for Waste Care. Waste Care are an independently owned hazardous waste company, and we specialise in difficult and hazardous waste. We have over 17 facilities across the country, processing around 300,000 tonnes of material. Producer compliance is one of the key elements to our business. We had the largest battery producer compliance scheme in the country. We have a lot of the major producers. I think we have over 50% of the market share, and we've got the largest producer compliance scheme for electronics as well, which has the largest number of scheme members. Why have Waste Care chosen to work with Lincoln Storm? So for Waste Care, we're all about recovery and value as much as possible and extracting the resources that we can to get back into the supply chain and ensure that we've got a closed loop circular economy, and we believe that Lincoln Storm are one of the best placed partners to work with on that.
I'm Eustice and I'm a board advisor at AnyWaste. Lincoln Storm is the country's only processor of lithium-ion batteries at the moment, and we know that for many electronic devices, the management and the handling of those lithium-ion batteries is a major challenge. They can become a fire hazard if they're disposed of incorrectly. At the moment, a lot of these lithium-ion batteries simply get loaded on a ship, coated in vermiculite and sent to Singapore or other countries to be processed. And it's really important, with the circular economy in mind, that we take some ownership of recycling our own electronic waste, and lithium-ion batteries is a really important one. So it's great to see this site here at Lincoln Storm and see the work they're doing to turn these lithium-ion batteries into black mass that's got a value, with the nickel and the cobalt and the lithium that's in there. We all know that there are real problems with illegality creeping in with waste, and so waste being misdescribed, ending up at the wrong place, and it's very, very difficult for regulators to be able to track that waste to make sure that the system's being implemented in the right way. And so the great advantage of a digital waste tracking system is it enables you in a much more effective, efficient way to track individual consignments, and for regulators crucially be able to view the journey of that waste and to check that there's a photograph that shows that it was what the waste was described as, to check that the waste ended up where it should have ended up, and to be able to see what happened to that waste at the end point. And the difficulty at the moment is there's lots and lots of paper generated and shuffled about, but it's not a very easy basis in which to run an enforcement regime. I think to get an effective regime for the circular economy and to realise the value that's in things that today is described as waste but should be regarded as a resource, we've got to get the regulatory regime right as well. And the government's recently done a review that was headed by Dan Corey to look at how we could improve the regulatory regimes, and he highlighted some of the barriers and problems there are at the moment with the environmental permitting regs, which can be modernised and can be improved. And there's also, of course, a circular economy task force at the moment that's looking at how we can change the regulatory landscape to make it easier for the circular economy to work, easier to retain that value here in the UK. And what we're doing at AnyWaste is working with recyclers like Lincoln Storm here today, but also other organisations like Waste Care as well that run some of the battery compliance schemes, to really see what's needed to improve the regulatory regime so that we've got something that is fit for purpose, that's proportionate, that delivers everything it needs to in terms of environmental safety, but also makes it easier to build facilities like this and build them quicker and expand them faster.
I'm Peter Hunt, Chairman of the Waste Care Group. Waste Care was formed in 1980, 45 years ago, initially to collect and recover silver from photographic and printing waste, etc. And that over the years has developed into providing services for virtually all hazardous and difficult waste generated in the UK. We're looking to lead in sustainable recycling, and the only way we can make it sustainable is either to both to recover value from the waste streams, but also keep the cost as low as possible by using the latest technology. So by combining the two, we can provide industry and commerce a cost-effective service, but at the same time return value back to them for those components and commodities we recover from the waste. First reason which brought us here is the fact that it's UK-based. We don't like exporting. We don't like to see waste being exported into Europe. Britain has relied too heavily on the rest of Europe to recycle all sorts of recycling, from general waste to flammable waste, etc. So all our processes, we have 8 of our own recycling and treatment operations and another 8 collection hubs. But again, we don't do lithium batteries, and Lincoln Storm do, and they seem to be doing it on a good scale and at a good standard, so it makes sense to work with them on this particular stream.
I'm Rohan Wills. I am Head of Business Development at AnyWaste Global. Lincoln Storm are a massive lithium-ion battery recycler. They work compliantly and diligently to recycle lithium-ion batteries in an environmentally friendly way. Lincoln Storm can recover 98% of the materials inside a lithium-ion battery.